Alright, this is a early morning impromptu stream just because I'm up. And I'm going to be playing Sonic 2 with Knuckles in here. So how this works is basically, previously I played Sonic 3 with it connected to Sonic and Knuckles for a combined game. That lock-on technology with the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, it also works with Sonic 2, although it's much more minimalistic. Because Sonic 2 was not originally designed to have that connection with Sonic and Knuckles. It was just designed as a standalone game, right? So when Sonic and Knuckles was released, they retroactively made it compatible with Sonic 2, but all it really did was replace Sonic with Knuckles. You can still glide and climb walls, but that's really the extent of it. It's basically kind of like a ROM hack, if you want to think of it that way. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And yeah, just like you'd expect, you can glide and stuff like that. If you collect all the Chaos Emeralds in this game, you can transform into Super Knuckles. I'm probably not, I don't think I'm going to do that, just because it's inconvenient as Super Knuckles. Anytime you try to glide when you have more than 50 rings, it forces you into a transformation. Keep in mind, I'm playing the original here, not any sort of, like, remaster or anything like that. So those sort of quality of life improvements where it doesn't force you into transformation, that's not present here. And I like to use Knuckles' glide ability where possible, as well as his ability to climb walls. Those spike traps can be tricky. Gotta remember to go slow in a game all about going fast. Yeah, when it comes to super transformations, Sonic 2 I think was the first game to allow you to transform into Super Sonic, and of course here you can transform into Super Knuckles. But the only real point to it is to make stages a little bit easier. So once you get 50 rings, you transform, and if you can complete the stage before time runs out, you're basically invincible and you go faster. But Sonic 3 was really the first, well, Sonic 3 and Knuckles was really the first game that gave you a good incentive to do that. Technically, I guess Sonic and Knuckles will be the first one to give you an incentive to collect all the Chaos Emeralds for the ability to transform. And that was really just for Sonic, because there was a boss fight that was exclusive to Super Sonic. Visually, this is one of, when it comes to presentation, like sound and music and all that, this is one of my favorite zones. Unfortunately, there's this one part in the water that is just, it's really annoying. I should probably focus on getting 100 rings because that gives you an extra life. And this game, unlike later games, your lives actually are important here. If you run out of lives, and continues, it's just game over. You don't really get to continue where you left off. There was no save game functionality here. So once you got game over or you turned off the system, yeah, you pretty much have to start all over from the very beginning. So I won't focus on getting Chaos Emeralds, but I will try to get some extra lives. And main reason for that is the last stage is... it can be very tricky, because you do the entire last stage, double boss fights back to back, with absolutely no rings. So it's literally one hit and you're dead. Oh, I can climb walls. I keep forgetting that. These stages weren't really designed for Knuckles. So in Sonic 3, since it was always going to be intended to have Knuckles as a character at some point, Sonic 3 was designed with the stages designed to accommodate Knuckles' unique playstyle. So there would be opportunities for breakable walls that only Knuckles can break, places that Knuckles can climb up to for alternate routes and stuff. Sonic 2 didn't really have that. So, like I said, this was basically almost like a ROM hack. And it actually functionally pretty much is a ROM hack. Sega made a ROM hack for their own game. So, when it comes to stage design, Knuckles being a character just was not a consideration at all. Okay, now this is the part that I find annoying. I can climb because I'm Knuckles, but that can cause its own problems. Because some of these walls can be a little bit bugged when it comes to this. So maybe... oh no. Okay, barely made it. Yeah, in classic Sonic games, drowning was a pretty significant issue. Yeah, you don't want to fall down there. And there are some differences here with how Knuckles plays other than gliding and climbing. For one, he cannot jump as high as Sonic. And I don't believe he can run as fast either, but I'm not sure on that. Yeah, this chemical plant zone was so popular that, of course, Sega would, and the Sonic team would continuously reuse this theme in future games. That's one major criticism I have of the Sonic series as a whole, is the Sonic team will stumble upon something that is pretty popular, and stages that are well received, and then they'll just reuse that same concept over and over. And that's probably why the series feels so stale right now. It's just because, well, it felt stale to me ever since, I don't know, like, it's been years since the series was actually pretty interesting. Even Sonic Frontiers, I never finished Sonic Frontiers because I just got bored of it. And even modern attempts at sort of recapturing this, like Sonic Mania, was a great way of sort of recapturing the sort of magic of the original Sonic Classic games. But it still sort of felt like they were just... They saw something that worked and were like, okay, we'll imitate this exactly instead of trying to really innovate. Okay, well, I'm not gonna keep trying that. Like I said, Sonic can jump higher, so some of these things Sonic will just be able to jump over. Yep, here we go again. There we go. Just glide. Easy. Bypass most of the level. Oh man, I almost got on that pillar. Okay. With this, you normally jump on the arrows and then hit Eggman. Since Knuckles can't jump as high, I can't use the lowest and highest arrows. It has to be, I have to wait for something in the middle too, for me to be able to do anything. So right now it's just a waiting game. It's totally RNG. Wow, he really loves these top and bottom colors, especially the top, it seems. Okay, we could be here a while. Finally. Alright. I guess this is supposed to be a challenge. The challenge of bosses in this game can be wildly inconsistent. Some of them are absurdly easy, like the previous ones we saw so far. Especially Zone 1 and this zone were just ridiculously easy. And then you have absurdly hard bosses like on Wing Fortress Zone and the final stage, Death Egg Zone. I think it's called Death Egg, either Death Egg Zone or Doomsday Zone. Whatever the final stage is, that's one of the more absurdly hard ones, just because you have 0 rings. Oops, thought there was something there. Someone at the Sonic team had the bright idea of, okay, if we have a casino-themed stage, let's make a little gimmick where Sonic acts as a pinball. Interesting idea, right? Yes, it was. And then they keep reusing that same idea on almost every subsequent game. Like, okay, it was an awesome idea at first, you don't have to do it every single game. It does get old. And I happen to like pinball. I actually collect pinball machines. I have 4 of them. So I mean, a stage like this, I would normally enjoy a lot, and I do enjoy it. But then when the Sonic team sees that and they're like, okay, now we have to do this in every game from now on. Have a casino-themed stage in which Sonic is a pinball. You see why the series gets stale? Because of mindsets like that. Okay, I definitely need to get extra life here. There we go. Didn't need to, but when you see an opportunity like that, you gotta take it. Early stages are easy, but like I said, that last stage, you can burn through lives quite quickly. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. And let's see how much I can skip. Okay, not that much, actually. Can I do anything up here? Yes. Come on. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to use the opposite side. Okay, forget it. Whatever's up there is not worth it. Okay, in this boss fight, you're supposed to sort of act as a pinball and hit Eggman that way. By coming down from above. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to do things my way. Because like I said, Sonic seems to find a gimmick they like and then overuse it to the point of absurdity. Almost. That was pretty easy. This fight can be challenging if you're actually playing it like pinball. In terms of vibes, this is one of my favorite stages. Not just in Sonic 2, but in all the classic Sonic stages. It's actually pretty controversial. You either love this stage or you hate it. I love it. not necessarily the stage layout and stuff like that. There's a few things mechanically I don't like, but I mean just like the music and the vibe, you know, the visuals, all that. Like blue cliff sides up above the clouds and those weird looking trees. Like if I were to judge this by like, you know, just gameplay, I wouldn't be much of a fan, but everything else, it's awesome. Oh, and in case it was not clear how I'm playing this, how I'm playing as Knuckles, the Sonic and Knuckles game cartridge has a lock-on feature. So on the bottom of the cartridge, of course, is your regular cartridge connector. I should have gotten the invincibility. On the top, however, there's a secondary connector that other cartridges simply didn't have. This was a feature specific to Sonic and Knuckles, and it was intended to plug Sonic 3 into that top connector, and you could play a combined game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I actually have a stream posted to my YouTube channel now of the playthrough of the combined game of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where it basically combines the stages from Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles into one mega game. I did a playthrough of that. It's on YouTube now if it's not still on Twitch. Well, they retroactively made made that compatible with Sonic 2, where there's no combined game. Like, you don't get any functionality from Sonic and Knuckles. You just get to play as Knuckles in the Sonic 2 game. So I have Sonic 2 cartridge connected to the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, and I'm playing that on just a Sega Genesis. You can use the seesaw as Sonic, or since I'm Knuckles, I can just climb walls. Same here. Don't have to worry about some of this stuff. But there's limited opportunity to use, Knuckles' climbing ability, just because, like I said, these stages were not designed with Knuckles in mind. Where did that guy go? Oh, okay. There's a sprite error and he turned into a flame. I assume it was an error anyway. Maybe not. Okay, now I want to make sure I grab invincibility, because what I've learned is that there's usually one right before these lava areas. Okay, it's a little bit slow. I thought there was going to be a lava area here. Okay. And you're supposed to be going super fast in order to get up there. It doesn't look like I can climb that wall. Let's see if I can get up. Nope, probably not. Okay. Broke momentum. That's fine though. This is annoying. I figure I'll try to remember to use Knuckles' specific traversal whenever there's an opportunity as an alternative. Could have probably got one more hit in there. with this game, it actually introduced 7 Chaos Emeralds and allowed for that transformation into Super Sonic, or in this case, Super Knuckles. Sonic 1 only had 6 Chaos Emeralds, and your only reward for collecting all of those was just like a brief cutscene where flowers bloom. Otherwise, you'd see a message that says, try again. So it was really sort of just exploiting, you know, I don't know what the term is called, for just cheap replayability. But at least Sonic, original Sonic 1 stages were good. The special stages were good, where you collected the Chaos Emeralds. It was this like rotating thing where you had to sort of guide Sonic away from traps. The special stages were at least enjoyable. Sonic 2 special stages, I might show one later. They were terrible. The only really way to really do the special stages was to basically memorize the layout. Like, you pretty much have to memorize the layout of these special stages to complete them. It's a two-dimensional thing that is supposed to look 3D, where you're running to try to collect rings and avoid bombs. But because there's so many sharp corners and stuff, and you can't see what's coming up ahead, you often simply... you have to know what's coming in order to be able to get it, if that makes sense. So you often have to sort of memorize the special stages, which means replaying them over and over. So it was a very cheap way of, you know, exploiting ignorance to get replayability. Like I said, if you're playing Sonic and Knuckles as Sonic, that's really the first time that, from, you know, that made collecting all the Chaos Emeralds and becoming Super Sonic actually worth it. Yeah, Sonic 1 had no Super Sonic whatsoever because there was only 6 Emeralds in the game. It's crazy how easily you can farm replayability just by saying, oh, you got the bad ending, try again for the good ending. Like, I understand why that sort of psychology works, but it's just, it doesn't feel fulfilling to me. I'd rather just have, you know, good content and replay it because I want to experience it again. Not because, like, I feel like I'm obligated to get the good ending. Quite sure where to go, but I just know that the vines he grabbed mean progression. Maybe I can show off a special stage. Yeah, I have an opportunity to do so here. You do that by getting at least 50 rings and getting one of these. And the goal is to... this one, I think there's only bombs at the very end of the stage, but the goal is to get as many rings as you can and avoid the bombs. Hitting bombs takes away 10 rings. So it's like this little half-pipe thing. It's two-dimensional image that they use like an optical illusion to make it look 3D. And right now it's relatively straight, but since it does curve, with how it looks, you can't always tell the curvature, and you often have no way of knowing, especially if there's sharp curves like this, like later on. You have no way of really knowing what's around the corner. So you could be missing a ring and running straight into a bomb, for all you know. So your only real recourse to complete these is just to know where things are at. And this first stage is not bad. Even if it's your first time playing it, you can probably complete this first stage without too much difficulty. But they do get progressively harder, and at a certain point you pretty much have to memorize the layout. But yeah, if you get enough rings by each, there's 3 checkpoints, and if you have enough rings by each checkpoint, you get the Chaos Emerald. And I'm probably not going to do any more. Because as a concept, I just hate it so much, and it's especially bad with Knuckles. Because at least with Sonic, you know, there's no reason to double jump unless you're trying to transform. But with Knuckles, you do have a reason to double jump, and so this is for a lazy design. But there's, other than the D-pad and the start button, the Sega Genesis controller, the basic controller anyway, has 3 buttons, A, B, and C. They made all 3 of these buttons do the exact same thing. They could have had 1 button dedicated to transformations. Just 1. But no, they had to make all 3 buttons operate the exact same way because I guess they're lazy. And quite honestly, from a programming perspective, making double jump the way to transform rather than a dedicated transform button is actually more difficult to program. That's the crazy part. So it's like they're the kind of lazy that ends up doing more work, you know? To be fair, when Supersonic Transformation was introduced, again, Knuckles wasn't really a thing. Tails was a playable character in this game, but he couldn't fly, like in later games. So that wasn't a concern there either. But it's something they could have fixed with Sonic 3. And Sonic and Knuckles, since Tails and Knuckles were there, and double jumping with them used their unique abilities such as flying and gliding, that should have been the cue to be like, okay, well, since double jumping now has an actual functionality, and Sonic had double jump functionality as well for like his insta shield and his shield abilities. So yeah, so in those games, since double jumping actually had functionality, they could have taken that to be the cue to have a transform button. But no. This is another one of those levels, I just like the vibe to it. Okay. And this thing's pretty cool. And you can actually come up on here, and then there's no point really to this, but you can do that. Just repeat the cycle. Yeah, I'm not going to do it a third time. Okay, let's just have to check and see if there's anything up there. Okay, this might kill me, but let's see. Anything I can do? Oh, okay. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Maybe not. Okay, I was gonna check and see if I can get up there. Out of curiosity. Okay. Seemed a little pointless, but okay. Ah. Anything up here important? Oh, okay, I don't think I can actually do that. Oh, no, oh, nice. Okay, I can go into these things. At least this one I can go into. Okay, maybe this one doesn't just play never comes down. You know, this whole time I've been playing, I don't think I've actually done that before. I mean, it's not like I've played this game a lot. I used to play it a lot in the 90s. But I don't think I ever discovered that. Alright, forget this. Again, some stuff you just is really designed for Sonic's speed and jumping ability. Yeah, this is one of those stages where you have to go slow in a game without going fast. Oh, that's the whole thing about going slow is especially true in Metropolis Zone. There are places in Sonic in these games where you do want to go fast in order to get to certain places. But it's one of those things, like I was saying, where you sort of have to memorize where those locations are. Because otherwise you don't know if you're running into a place where you're supposed to run fast to get up to a certain height, or if you're going to run straight into an enemy, or spikes, or into a bottomless pit. Stuff like that. You could stay on top of these platforms and dodge the lasers and all that and jump from platform to platform. But I don't feel like it. I'm going to just be lazy and do this. Just keep spamming that jump button. Easy. When he pops up, he's looking to see where you're at, so he can sort of, so he'll know which platform to send that initial attack out on, that spiky snake thing. But then the other attack that shoots lasers, that will track you. Okay, so most of this zone so far I've had 2 acts. This is the first one that's going to have 3 acts. Those starfish you really have to watch out for. That and the grasshoppers. The grasshoppers are... Actually, all the enemies in this game, in this level suck. Like, even this crab, you have to hit it just right and avoid hitting its claw entirely. Even if this claw is retracted, or it hits you. You know, these just... If you know the starfish are going to be an issue, get close to them and have them go ahead and do their attack. So you can avoid it and then proceed. These go clockwise, in a clockwise pattern. I'm not going to do another special stage. Yeah, you thought. Let's see. Hopefully no spikes. Okay. It's like a Dark Souls ambush. Or even if you know it's there, it's kind of hard to get up that ramp and avoid the attack. This is an interesting gimmick. You just run right or left to screw or unscrew these things. Interesting gimmick, but of course, this being a 3-act zone, even that does get a little bit old. But still, despite that, I like this. Despite how difficult the enemies are and all that, and how annoying some of the stuff can be, I do like the zone. But then again, I'm judging on vibes. Wow, 148 rings. I hardly ever have that many in this zone. And that guy can quickly take those rings away. Anything up here? Okay, nope. One of these things is like a bottomless pit. That you just keep falling continuously until you break out. Okay, I'm racking up quite a bit of extra lives and continues. So even if I do struggle with the final zone, I'll have plenty of chances until it's game over. Really, it's... So the final zone has 2 bosses back to back, and you get no rings, so you have to fight both of them, and back to back and not get hit once or you die. The second boss is actually easier. It's the first boss you pretty much have to memorize his attack patterns, because he can change it up when you're not expecting it, and you just have to know what he's gonna do next. Like, his movements are specifically designed to trip you up, where you think you know what he's about to do, and then he does something different. Okay. Alright, so fell off that, but Fortunately, this game operates under the logic of if you go off screen, everything resets. Okay. Anything up here? Probably not. Oh, alright, yeah, there is a path. Okay. I hate these things. Oh no! I hate these grasshoppers so much. Their attacks can go through walls. And they have good tracking on them too. Okay, I'll just climb the wall. Like I was saying, Knuckles can't jump as high as Sonic, and these stages were designed with Sonic in mind. Get it this time. Come on. There we go. Alright, like I was saying, other zones have had 2 acts. This is going to be the first one with 3 acts. Three-act zones were the standard in Sonic 1 and Sonic CD, but then it switched to 2 with this game. And that sort of 2 acts became the standard from then on. Oh, and I remember the boss of this one is kind of annoying. Ah. Okay, forget this corkscrew thing. I'm just... Come on. last one's not balanced. Okay. There we go. Should have been looking where I'm going. Ooh, okay. When it came to Classic Sonic, I was only going to do Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That's on my YouTube if you want to see that. But then I was like, you know, when it comes to like historical significance, Sega making basically their own ROM hack, which is this game, that's interesting enough that I think I should highlight it. Because like I said, you know, this basically is a ROM hack that Sega made for their own game. Oops, okay. I probably messed that one up. The idea is to cautiously jump over this guy, but it's easier with Sonic because he can jump higher. So you have to be quite a bit more precise with Knuckles. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, got that barely. Sonic has basically zero problem with that jump, but here I have to really time it just right. Okay, I was gonna try to get sneaky and... Okay, I guess I have to... Come on. But I have 11 lives, I can afford to be a little bit risky at this stage. Alright. What? Okay. This limited jump height is really getting on my nerves. Oh, okay, I'm almost dead now. Nice. I really need to tweak the auto mod settings somehow and get rid of the spam bots. Okay, maybe if I... Okay, yeah, maybe that's the way to do it, is do it that way, yeah. Or maybe not. Maybe I just got lucky that time. working a little bit more consistently. But it's tough when when it comes right down the middle. Nice. Okay, doing better. Come on, get the ring. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Nice. Alright, one more hit, and he's gonna... There we go. Finally, that took way too many tries. Yeah, like I was saying, the difficulty of the bosses seem to really spike on these last three. This being the first, and then there's the boss of Wing Fortress, and then Death Egg Zone. Have kind of limited control. Oh, okay. Didn't see what hit me. And I think this is the first time where stages blend into each other. So in Sonic 3, there was, you know, stage transitions that take you from, like a little scene that takes you from one stage to another to show how they sort of connect. These next three stages here are what do that in Sonic 2. So once one stage sort of just naturally sort of transitions into the other. If I remember right, this part up here is a little bit tricky. Yeah, because... let's see. Yeah, it's this part where you can jump on this grab bar, but then it's hard to get enough distance to get to the next platform. But fortunately, I'm playing as Knuckles. Okay, just floating out here. Anything in here? Okay, I need to time this well. Actually, I don't need to time this well. I'm playing as Knuckles. Yeah, I can just cheese my way through everything. Oh, I hate this boss. The version in Sonic and Knuckles was not nearly as bad. There's a very similar concept used in Sonic and Knuckles, but without all these spike things floating around. And it's the floating spikes that makes this difficult. So I think the strategy here is just to sort of stay in the corner and keep jumping on top of whatever spike sort of comes near you. So stay in a corner. Until you can't anymore. I hate this so much. Okay, no. There we go. Alright, I think this is the final step. Oh man, there was an extra life up there I missed. Oh well. If I can't get through this final stage in 10 lives, plus however many continues I have. And notice the time is still ticking down. Even during all this, the time is still elapsing, and you automatically die after 10 minutes. So, in this stage, you have to leave enough time for the long cutscene. Okay, I have to do this entire thing without getting hit once. And it helps to memorize the pattern, so I think I hit him too many times. So he's either gonna jump or it goes. There we go. He's gonna jump. Cool. Okay. The part you have to worry about is when he jumps and then shoots spikes everywhere. That's what really trips you up if you don't know exactly when it's gonna happen. And even if you do, it's like it's tough to avoid. Now this one with Sonic, since Sonic can jump higher, there'll be more opportunities to hit him. But since I'm playing as Knuckles, I have to play it safe. I can't jump as high, so I have to bait out a specific opportunity to attack him. And that's going to be this. And again, you get hit once, you start the whole thing over again. So this fight is probably going to be a little bit boring. Yeah, so even Knuckles is acting bored. So normally when both of his hands are retracted behind his belly when he's standing still, like I might have been able to hit him right then. Oh, okay, that was a bad jump. That would... If you don't hit him in exactly the right spot, you die. Like that. Mistimed that a little bit. So now I gotta do the whole thing over again. So even if you've been playing well throughout the entire game, this stage can cause you to the game over. And of course that means you redo the entire game. Oh, I can normally hit him. I can normally hit him when he does the dash if I remember to do it. Well, I think I should just hit him once so I can get a consistent pattern. There, okay. So now just gotta try to be cautious. We'll see. And even then, it's like the game really gives you no indication of where the safe zones are, and it's not necessarily based on logic either. Like if I attack his feet, that also kills me. Okay, confirmed. Can't jump high enough with Knuckles to hit him. That'll be a safe attack time right there with Sonic, but with Knuckles, no. Ooh, that was close. Okay. So, basically I have to do this the slow way with Knuckles, since I can't jump high. Yeah, I can attack with Sonic at that moment right there, right before he lifts off, but not with Knuckles, apparently. Really? Okay. Hit him and then immediately try to pull away. I guess that's the strategy then. Wow. Nice. Triple hit. Try this again. 6 lives remaining. Nice. But I have continues, so I don't know how many continues I have, but I got some. And they should give me another 3 lives each. So this is doable. I'll just have to hit him a bunch of times and not make one mistake ever. And do this in a fight where it's not clear what actually constitutes a mistake. Okay, there we go. So now I just have to do that exact thing a bunch more times and not mess up even slightly even once. Alright, got this. Oh my god, that's... can't do this. Oh wow, that was fast. Okay, so remember to pull away as soon as I make contact. So after having easy bosses most of the game, Sonic Team decides to pull a Dark Souls here, except without the fairness. this is doable. Wow, that was actually close to hitting his hand. I'm not used to really using the D-pad that much. Maybe I should be targeting his head, because I think I got his head that time. I say that like I can actually target anything. Seems to just be a matter of timing as far as when I jump. So it's like I have to go the right distance away and then jump kind of early. Yeah, Knuckles getting impatient there. Me too. I'm ready for this to be over. Finally. So that's why I wanted to get a bunch of extra lives in the early part of the game. Because of all this. Those last three bosses were really tough. The boss in Metropolis Zone is much, much more manageable if you're playing as Sonic. Don't know why they have. Well, I guess this was taken from like the manga or whatever, manga panels or something. But the black and white thing's a little weird. All right. Stream lasted an hour and 16 minutes, and I probably spent at least 16 minutes on that final stage. So, not my favorite game, obviously, in the Sonic Classic series. That would be Sonic 3 and Knuckles. If you are interested in seeing more, I have the full playthrough posted on my YouTube channel. So yeah, go check it out. I don't know if I'll be doing any other classic Sonic streams. I may or may not. I like to do a variety of games from old to new, just to really show off a variety of just interesting games. And the reason I thought this was interesting enough to stream was because, like I said, it is basically the Sonic team making a ROM hack of their own game, and it came out really weird, but interesting idea. And it's one of those things where it's like it's from an era where developers weren't afraid to just try crazy stuff like that, and I like that. So yeah, that's why I wanted to stream it. But yeah, as of now, I'm planning on my next stream being Monday, where I'm going to continue Elden Ring. And then Wednesday, I start Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So yeah, look forward to seeing people there. Thank you for coming up, and I'll go ahead and end the stream now.